We are taught from a young age that always being disciplined means being loud, aggressive, and physically resilient. Our culture celebrates the grind, the act of waking up at 4 a.m. to fight against your own exhaustion and brute forcing your way through every temptation. This model stems from the 1972 Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. Children who physically resisted a treat for a larger reward were categorized as high achievers. It defined self-control as a successful internal war. Most strategies stop at this level of resistance. Level 1 is the simple routine. Level 2 is the active struggle against an urge. But there is a level 3, the ability to sit in the exact center of an impulse, feel its heat, and remain perfectly still. Psychologists view this degree of mastery as more than a skill. It functions as a psychological tool, allowing a person to detach from their own biological commands. The reason most discipline fails is because it relies on mental combat. We assume that if we push against a desire hard enough, it will eventually vanish. Neuroscience suggests the opposite. Ironic process theory shows that when you try to suppress a thought, your brain monitors for that thought so frequently that the urge actually screams louder. You can test this right now. If you try to not think about a white bear, your brain has to constantly search for white bear to ensure you are avoiding it. You end up seeing claws and fur every few seconds. This constant internal friction consumes glucose and mental energy. By the time evening arrives, your cognitive resources are spent, leading to an inevitable willpower collapse. Relying on a system of internal combat is scientifically unsustainable. Your biology is designed to eventually win that fight. The alternative is to stop participating in the struggle and begin clinical observation. This approach is known as urge surfing. It treats high-intensity addiction by writing out a craving instead of trying to suppress it. Map a craving, and it becomes just a data point with a beginning, a rising peak, and a natural decay. It's a temporary neurological event. Watching this data reveals a microscopic window of time between the initial stimulus and your physical response. Psychiatrist Victor Frankl noted this specific gap is the source of all human freedom. Finding it gives you the ability to choose your next move. Recognizing this space shifts your role from a victim of a craving to a detached observer. You are no longer the wave, you are the person watching it crash from the shore. Practitioners of extreme cold exposure don't scream or flex their muscles to fight the ice. They use quiet breathing to signal there is no emergency. This signals a shift in the brain's dual processing models. System 1 handles our automatic, survival-based impulses, while System 2 handles our conscious, rational choices. System 2 has a finite energy supply, which is why you fail to resist snacking at 8 p.m., but detached observation lets the impulse dissipate without recruiting System 2. Over time, this alters System 1, making the urge weaker. Eventually, the internal relationship with the vice changes. You no longer view yourself as resisting temptation. You simply no longer identify with the desire. When the craving for a specific habit ceases to exist, you have transitioned from practicing a routine to achieving a state of mastery. While this level of control is powerful, it can lead to an isolating and stark reality. Clinical research identifies a shadow side called overcontrol. It occurs when the ability to suppress impulses becomes the default state for every emotion. Indiscriminate suppression is linked to chronic loneliness and obsessive-compulsive disorders. If you analyze every feeling before you allow yourself to feel it, you lose the ability to connect with others. A life without any spontaneity or impulse results in a loss of joy. You effectively trade the chaos of being human for the predictability of a machine. Absolute suppression is a different kind of confinement. You trade the prison of your urges for a cage of your own construction. Healthy discipline allows you to engage with the world's temptations and choose to walk away. You retain the ability to feel the impulse without being forced to act on it. Most people live as subjects to their biological whims. Those who learn to surf their urges gain the ability to direct their own focus and dictate their own reality. Here is your challenge. Identify one digital or physical impulse today that you usually obey without thinking. When that urge hits, do not fight it. Simply pause. watch it rise, watch it peak, and watch it eventually fade away. Mastering that silent gap between stimulus and response is the only path to true psychological autonomy. You stop reacting to your mind and start commanding it.